Oh boy, like seriously, I should have like a whole mug here for you guys' tears, especially from my last video, because you guys literally just commented being upset of something that's opinionated. First of all, guys, it's opinionated. Calm the hell down. Don't worry. It's not based off of facts, it's not based off of anything. It's just a straight on opinion of what my least and what I think my 5 worst Overwatch characters and players are. But as I said, it's completely opinionated. But I try to go ahead and be like, oh, what is your 5 worst players? And no one even freaking commented. So, next time I'll bring a mug so I can make sure that you guys can spill your tears in there. I can drink them afterwards. But, you know what? Let's go ahead and change this up a little bit. I've seen major changes from Overwatch since the alpha of Overwatch 1 to now. And the changes are a little bit crazy. The changes are a little bit good, bad here and there, and all over the place. So this is my top 3 things that I would change in Overwatch right now if I could. So let's get started. So if you could tell, it's kind of a different time during the day, like it is 2:44 in the morning, because insomnia hits badly. But I'm gonna address something a little bit that maybe I shouldn't have to address, but I'm going to address it majorly. So as of recently, I have put out these 2 videos, one about the dumbest things that an Overwatch player can say or has said, and then another one with the top 5 characters that I hate and the top 5 players I hate. So I would say top 5 players and characters I hate. So one of them, in my opinion, was a factual one, because I stated out facts about the Overwatch community, and I've asked people, hey, give me something of an idea where you think I was wrong on those 5 things that I stated that Overwatch players say that is absolutely dumb and nobody decided to do so. Instead, from the plethora of comments, not just from the first video, but the second video, led to major things like insults. And of course, it's different if the first one kind of got into an insulting area, so I was fine, so I could turn off the comments on that one. Second one, I let the comments stay because I wanted people to interact on who they believe is the top 5 worst characters or top 5 worst players. Nobody did that. Nobody did that at all. People just hated the opinion that I gave, and especially where that one was just strictly opinionated and why I stated that. And because of that, a lot of people have went to a point where comments have gotten very disrespectful, where one guy was absolutely ignorant on the idea of, oh, I don't want to give your videos more algorithmic views to the Overwatch community, but you commented already. So here's what is going to happen now, because obviously some of you can't handle yourselves like adults. Your comments will be held up for review. So you'll be able to comment on the video and you'll be held up to review. But if I deem them not worthy of being on there, then I deem them not worthy of being on there. Guess what? This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. It's my panel, my video. But as I said, like with certain things, like if I'm doing like a top 5 worst character or top 5 worst skins or top 10 best skins, I want your opinions on what you think is the top 5 worst or top 5 best. But a lot of people just hate the ideas of an opinion also, just like Overwatch community and the blatant ignorance that is known in the Overwatch community. So with that, as I said, now if you decide to comment on this video, it's going to be held up for review. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. Sorry, not sorry. Now, I think this one is an interesting take because I play both types of competitive scenes, role queue and also open queue, and with that I enjoy the competitive scenes, but My issue with this, I liked the classic way of Overwatch playing, so I feel as if instead of just the competitive role queue and then the competitive open queue, it should be competitive 5v5 and then competitive 6v6. Simply because a lot of people are fans of the old school style of Overwatch, and you know that would increase a lot more. Now, with that situation changing, I would like to see that replace the open queue competitive play. Now, here are the pros and cons of that. Now, the pros of having the open queue competitive play is the fact that you can be able to play whoever you choose. You're not limited based off the role, which, you know, sometimes can be a good and a bad thing for the player, especially a good and a bad thing for your team. So it's a good thing because you get to play whoever you want. It's a bad thing because the team would have to suffer due to the fact that you are probably playing a character you're not supposed to be playing, or that you're not as good with than another character. But that also, with the open queue, it gives players a lot more free use of the characters. But if you switch it back to 6v6 role queue, if you switch to 6v6 role queue at all, I think players would understand the idea of, you know, trying to do a role specifically and learn about a role more and how to handle a role with the team by doing that. And also the fact of when you are doing that role, you're playing the classic Overwatch 1 style. I think open queue should still be a mode, but in the quick play area, so they could be able to be free to open and learn any character they wish. And then you still have regular quick play role queue where you can learn about the roles and how to do them. And as I said, you could just switch it to the competitive style, and you have competitive 5v5, competitive 6v6. And I think that would change a lot more for people to want to play on this actual competitive scene. An issue that I have with it is literally the fact that a lot of people do not take open queue seriously because of the fact that it's just open queue, even if it's in the competitive area. You know, competitively, if you're playing open queue, you still should take it seriously because it's a competitive scene. But if we switch that to 6v6, will they take it a lot more seriously, or will they just still not consider it since 5v5 is the stable now? So that's something that is just very like a pro and con situation. But I would like to see more of the 6v6 mode, or if not, like possibly put the 6v6 mode in an arcade style. But what do you guys think about that one? Now, I don't know if you guys know what the requirements are to be able to hit the competitive scene. I believe you have to win 50 games or play 50 games, or you have to win and play 50 games. But I'm gonna put it up in the video. But I think the requirement to play competitive needs to be a lot more strict. And reason why is because you pop on with certain things like not knowing the character or not knowing your main. I think a lot of people pop in not having a main and don't even know things like the counters towards her, or even don't know how to counter certain players, or in general just don't know how to play the character or understand the character's kit, and then you pop into the competitive scene. I think that is very, very, very dangerous for someone who wants to be in the competitive scene to do. If you want to try to get into the competitive scene, learn what the roles are, learn the character, learn the kits, learn the counters, and that will be a lot more beneficial. I think some people pop in not knowing what the game is, or not knowing how to play the game, and just pop in the competitive scene thinking that if they play with another person that they're gonna learn. So here's what I'm saying: you never learn how to play against a player because every player plays differently. And the only difference that could change is literally the idea that, you know, someone can actually learn the counters, and someone can even go to a point where they, you know, they outplay you. Like there are some instances where a Junkrat will go ahead and toss in, you know, his trap, and his bomb at the same time in the same area. You get hit, you get taken out, they take you out, and he's still hiding in the same area. How do you know how to play against that guy? Kill him in the spot that he's in. But then there are other players that play Junkrat differently, so you don't usually learn how to play against a player, you know, or play against someone where they all play differently. So that mindset is just completely destroyed. What I would recommend as a change is that not for the progression for a role, I would say more of the progression of characters, to understand, you know, the character's kit and the character of how they're played and so on and so forth. I think they need to at least have like 3 characters up to at least like level 5 or 10 to be able to do competitive. It's like how Paladins does it. You have to at least have certain characters up to level 5 or at least 5 characters up to level 10 to be able to do competitive scene, because of the fact that it helps you understand the fact that you're going into the competitive scene and you have some knowledge of the game. It's very weird to just pop into competitive and then all of a sudden you don't know what you're doing and you're fucking up the whole thing for the whole team. Because with that, one person could go ahead and lead to the downfall of one team. So I think the requirements for competitive need to change. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think they should change? Now, everybody's wondering, like, what do I mean by a tally system? So, here's my thing that bothers me majorly with, you know, the role queue situation. We have a lot of players on the DPS area. We have a lot of players playing the DPS area probably more than any other role than you know, that is played. I feel as if this would help out for balancing a little bit more because of a tally system. So for instance, I would say that we put at least 5 tallies for each role. When you hit those 5 tallies or the 5th tally, then it locks out for a little bit until you actually get a certain amount of tallies on other roles. Reason why I would say this is done either, you know, in role queue, or mostly I would say it would rather be done in competitive role queue. It's to literally help the developers either, you know, balance the game a lot more and increase amount of play time for certain characters. Now we have a whole list of characters that get more play time than others, even outside of the role. But I think when it comes to inside of the roles, there are some characters that get more playtime than others. I think if you see how many people especially play a character based on that tally system, it will do things like help balance them out more properly to make the game a lot more, you know, properly balanced, since players like to complain that this game is unbalanced. I've heard a lot of complaints, you know, about this game being majorly unbalanced. But I think that tally system though might be a little bit restrictive. Understandable where a lot of people will be upset about that, and rightfully so, because I think you should be put to go ahead and have to be set up to play something. I think with that, it does a lot better for nerfing and buffing and teaching a player how to play, because of the fact that I think each player should be able to go ahead and try to learn at least 1 or 2 characters per role to be able to get the idea of how the role is done and how the character is played. But as I said, the only con for this is that it will restrict a player a lot more. So I would say, like, if we do a tally system, then you just by all means not do it in the unranked area, just do it in the competitive scene. But you know, literally, I think that would make a lot things better for people to understand roles, to be able to go ahead and spread out to different roles and different actual areas and different characters and how they're played, and gives a lot more play time towards all the other characters. Do you guys think that would be a good idea? By all means, let me know. Now, as I said, this is all strictly opinionated. As I said, I don't think that these are always like the best choice for the Overwatch community or the Overwatch game. I think, in my opinion, like this will somewhat help out to a point where, as I said, balancing will be a lot more better. Certain things like, you know, the competitive scene will be changed, and the player will enjoy the game like from the new standpoint of the 5v5, and even from the classic standpoint of the 6v6. You know, I really hope that of one of the three changes I want the 5v5 and the 6v6. I think the 6v6 style is classic and it's more enjoyable than 5v5, but the 5v5 is a stable. The only issue I have is that people will probably not take the 6v6 competitive, you know, actually, you know, seriously, because it's just 6v6. It's not the main stable like the 5v5. I think that's what the issue is. We're having two different competitive scenes. But in the comments, let me know what you guys think about these ideas. Do you guys agree with them? Do you guys disagree with them? Once again, as I said from the beginning, I will not be taking any disrespectful comments. If you come out disrespectful, your comment will be hidden and you will be removed from this channel. I want to hear constructive criticism. I want to hear why it will be, you know, a lot better, why it would not be better. Please tell me, by all means. I could disagree with you. I could also agree with you. You know, I would say, you know, I'll disagree with you, or I do agree with you. But in the comments, let me know what you guys think. Definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn your notifications for when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Make sure to go ahead and check out our merchandise and then support us on Patreon. But, oh, by the way, we do have a actual sale going on for the EHG merch. I do have a nice little sweater here from the EHG merch. Right here, you know, very, very comfortable. Very, 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 very warm, especially if you're in a cold area, where in Florida sometimes it gets very, very cold in certain months. Like especially with the cool design I have right here. You know, you got the little logo on the side, and they go up to at least extra large or probably double X large, and you also got the EHG logo right here, which is actually pretty cool. And as I said, there's now 50% off till December 31st. So by all means, take a look at our Teespring and take a look at the merchandise we have, from t-shirts, sweaters, duffel bags, and we even have mugs. So with that, thank you guys for watching. This is Nico from the EHG community. Stay tuned for another video, and remember that there's always something amazing on the horizon.